'cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine. In a world so full of pain, can you make it go away? Used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now. Everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong. Baby, now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in
You and me.
you and me, you and me, yeah.
We about die. Go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danae Show. I am Danielle Danea, aka Danny Today, and I've got a lot to say. So let's get into it. So today we are discussing yesterday's Super Bowl, 2025 Super Bowl. And yeah, it's funny, I have a lot to say about this Super Bowl. At the same time, I thought this was the most underwhelming performance ever. But I don't know, I might have missed a few things, which I'm going to detail some of the things I might have missed. That rewatching it, I was like, okay, I kind of see it. But anyway, we're going to get into it if you hadn't seen it. And if you did, cool, great. I'm just going to give my perspective on what happened yesterday. So let's talk about it. So if you did not watch the 2025 Super Bowl yesterday, you didn't miss much. I was like, you didn't miss much. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. But it was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. and Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles won. They won by a landslide. They were winning in the second quarter. It was pretty much solid by the second quarter. The final score was the Eagles got 40 and the Chiefs got 22. Like I said, not a close game at all. It's so crazy. I thought the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win, but, I don't know football that well. The only reason I really thought they were going to win is because I knew Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were the couple. I know Travis Kelce played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and then he's dating Taylor Swift. And I felt like Taylor Swift had a whole bunch of influence, and I thought her influence would make it a thing for them to win, but I was 100% wrong. The Eagles won. So, yeah, like I said, they dominated the second quarter. But it was interesting watching the game because it looked like Patrick Mahomes, which is the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, it looked like he was struggling the whole game. It looked like, his arm, he kept on throwing, he repeatedly threw the ball to the other team. And it looked like he wasn't doing it on purpose, but how often he was doing it made it seem that way. So, yeah, that was weird because this guy is good at what he does. So, that was a slip up. I don't know if there's something wrong with his arm or whatever. And also, his team really didn't help him throughout. The defense was horrible. It was just like he had no protection. You just saw him trying to throw the ball, and all the players from the Eagles were attacking him. Like, it was just like, dang, what is going on? Like, why aren't they your players doing their jobs? And I kind of felt kind of bad because this is Patrick Mahomes' 5th time at the Super Bowl, and he's won 3 out of 5, so he's lost 2. And yeah, he's only 29, which is insane to me to be, that's very impressive to go to the Super Bowl and win 3 times and, be as big as he is. It's so young. He's not even 30 yet. So yeah, it was just like, dang, I felt bad. It looked like something else was going on in his head. Something wasn't fully right. Maybe like I said, with his arm. So yeah, I peeped that, but Jalen Hurts, which is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, he was impressive. I thought that he played really well. I thought his team was excellent with their defense, but they have a history apparently. And you guys, I'm learning this all yesterday. If you know me, I am not a big football fan. I do not know the ins and outs of football. But I learned it all last night because I went over to my cousin's house and we had to sit down, and usually I attend bigger parties with people I don't know. So during the game, mostly I'm socializing and, I'm with my boyfriends and I'm making sure usually the kids are there. I'm making sure they're good and running around and stuff. But, my cousin has little kids, so they were entertained with the kids were running around with her kids. So I didn't have to worry about that. So I actually had time to sit through this game and to watch it. So I learned a lot from my cousin and my boyfriend, from other people that attended. So yeah, I learned a lot. So I was looking at Jalen, like I said, playing, and I was like, oh, okay, he's doing good. It seems like everybody was excited, and when they made a touchdown, again, mind you, I don't know what constitutes to be a touchdown. I just know, it's a goal, but again, seemed like they did really good. I paid attention to the defense. His team was really good. But yeah, it's so crazy because I really, really, even my boyfriend thought the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win. And the fact that they didn't, it just showed that, maybe Taylor doesn't have the influence that we all thought. Or maybe, I hate to say it, this was a thing where, because it seemed like there were predominantly Black players on the Philadelphia Eagles team. And for Black History Month, I don't know, maybe they wanted us to have a win. I don't know if it was a sympathy or empathy thing. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I'm throwing that out there. That is not a proven fact. I just am putting different perspectives out there. So I don't know. I hope that wasn't the case. But like I said, the blowout they got from a good team, from Patrick Mahomes being on the other team, it just seemed like something's off. But I don't know. It could have just been an off game, and they won the Philadelphia Eagles won fair and square. So I don't know. But yeah, it was so interesting seeing Taylor Swift in the crowd, and people were actually booing her in the crowd, which was insane. Because again, this is an international superstar. Everybody loves her. But I don't know, people were booing because a lot of people are keeping up with this Justin Baldoni story and Blake Lively story. And, if you haven't kept up with it, basically, Blake Lively said that Taylor Swift was one of her dragons. She was like, Blake Lively referred to herself as Khaleesi in Game of Thrones. And she said she had dragons trying to threaten Justin Baldoni, like, oh, don't play with me. I've got higher ups in Hollywood. And she was hinting that she was talking about Taylor Swift. So I don't know. People might have been mad about that. People maybe just don't like Taylor because of political things. It could have been a political reason because she, endorsed Kamala Harris, without really knowing much. It seemed like, and basically she signed it from a cat lady, her endorsement, kind of like a dig at Trump because, no, not at Trump. Well, Trump and J.D. Vance, because Vice President J.D. Vance said we don't need cat ladies running the country. So it's just like kind of a petty thing to say. And the fact that Kamala lost is just like, oh, you kind of lost too. But I don't know. It just, they were booing her bad. And it was, her face was priceless. She was just looking like, oh, what is going on? She had this awkward smile. But also, it's so funny that Donald Trump was there at the game, and he's actually the first sitting president to attend a Super Bowl. And I thought it was so great that he was with his beautiful daughter, Ivanka. I just love her. She's just so classy, and she looked great, as she always does, standing next to him, clapping. So I thought that was cool. And then Donald Trump later said something about Taylor Swift, but anyway, that's a whole other thing for a whole other day. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad the Eagles won. Go Black people. I love us. I'm rooting for us. I actually am rooting for Jalen too, because I just watched the interviews that he did after he won, and you can tell he's a really solid individual. And I've seen prior interviews before this game of and the way he just responds is very mature. That's why I thought it's so crazy. The fact that he's only 26. He's literally my age and actually younger than me because he was born, I think, in August or something. And my birthday is coming up in April. We were both born in 98. So I thought that was crazy because I thought it's so funny when we were watching. I was like, I thought he was a grown man. And everybody's like, he is a grown man. But I was like, like grown. I thought he was at least like 30. But in football, you actually retire around 40. So, you start super early so you can last as long as you can. So that made sense. He was young, and Mahomes being 29, him being 26. Of course, they're very young, but that's what they do. They recruit you super young. They recruit you out of college. They recruit you as early as they can. So you can last as long as you can. So it makes sense. But again, just the way he carries himself, I just thought he was way older. But it seems like I've run into a lot of. Well, not a lot. I ran into football players when I went to New York, and I was also shocked at the way they carried themselves. They weren't excessively drinking, being careless and stuff. It's admirable to see that they carry themselves at a higher standard, which they should, because their mess ups are more damaging than the regular person. So, but still, young guys are young guys, so they're going to do what they're going to do. But the fact that they're not like that, they're not that reckless is admirable. But anyway, enough of that. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Woohoo. Enough of that. We got to talk about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance. Gosh, guys. I'm sorry. When I first saw this performance, I was bored out of my mind the whole way through. There was nothing that I was just like, oh my gosh, wow. This is so amazing. I was just like, okay. But mind you, I am not a Kendrick Lamar fan. I know, a lot of people weren't until he put out this diss record, dissing Drake. So it was just like, okay, like, are you going to sit and play like Not Like Us the whole time through, because that's the only song a lot of people know. And that's what he did at a performance that he had in LA. He, in Inglewood, I think specifically, he like played, they said, I didn't attend, but I heard that he played that song like 10 times. They repeated it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine attending a concert and hearing the same song over and over again by some artist, by an artist I like. Like, I don't care how good the song is. Like, no, you go to a concert to experience like all their genres, all their music. So all their songs, pardon me. But yeah, I was worried that he was gonna do that, but he didn't do that. He only did it once. We were predicting, my boyfriend and I were predicting that he wasn't going to do the song at all. Maybe like the intro, maybe at most. But we didn't think he was going to sing the whole song, but he sure did. But he switched it up a little bit. He, started playing it a little bit at the beginning of his performance, and then cut into a different song, and then came back with it. And when he came into the song, he had said some different words that are different from what initially it is. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, again, nothing that was like, whoa. But then I started going through Instagram and Google and looking on YouTube, and I realized like I might have missed some stuff. And I realized that, his performance was more of a message than a performance. And, that's cool and all, but if we're being real here, everybody that watches the Super Bowl halftime show wants to be entertained. They want to see a performance. They don't want you to be politically correct. They don't want you to tell us, be like pro-black and all this other stuff. It's like there's a time and place for everything. And yes, you were given a platform, and yes, if it's important to you, I'm glad you showcased some of it. But it's like, if you're gonna do it in an entertaining way. Like, don't try to rewrite the script for how, the Super Bowl halftime Super Bowl show has been for years. Like, it just threw me off completely, because it was just like, okay, like, I'm not trying to study. Like, people were like, you had to really pay attention. You had to really understand. I'm not trying to really understand in football. I just want to have fun. I just want to dance. I just want to see something spectacular. And that just wasn't the case. But anyway, when I looked back and watched again, I realized that, and people were saying this, and I did see this later, that there was a moment where the stage was zoomed out, and you could see different shapes on the stage, and it was like a triangle and stuff. And I realized it was shapes from like Squid Games, and people were saying, yeah, he used the shapes from Squid Games to show that the rich are out here killing the poor. And I thought that was like, okay, I think there's a little bit of truth to that. So there's that. And then someone also mentioned at a point in time, the stage was also shaped like a prison yard. So when the dancers were also singing together with Kendrick Lamar performing, it was some type of harmonizing thing, a union. And I was just like, people are saying like that was so great. And I'm just like, all his dancers were black. Everybody was black, obviously. So it's admirable that all these black people are standing on a prison yard and singing together, harmonizing all the people that, we're alluding that they committing crime. And it's cute because we're all together, all hugged up around one another. Like, what is the hype in that? What is the beauty in that? I don't get that. Like, I think black people really need to sit back and think about the things they're saying, because just because we're united, it doesn't, like, just because we're together, but in a messed up situation, like we're somewhere that people go when they commit crime, it's just like, that's not cute. Like, that's not something we should be proud of, that we're all harmonizing together in a prison yard. Like, I don't get why people think that's cute. But anyway, I never understand how a lot of people think. But Samuel L. Jackson, obviously, he did the intro, and he was saying, like, people were saying him playing Uncle Sam like he did in Django. Or he was like the what's it called? The slave that, is a sellout that gets other black people in line and stuff. So him saying like, oh, don't be too loud, don't be too ghetto, was a way to showcase how America wants us to be in line. And by us, they mean obviously black people. White America wants us all in line, not to be too loud, too controversial, like he said the word straight up ghetto. So there was that, which again, it's like, okay, moving on. And when Drake said, when Kendrick Lamar was saying "Say Drake," and he has this line in "Not Like Us." If you haven't heard the song, I don't know how you haven't heard the song because it's everywhere. But this line in his song, he says, "Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young." It's so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny, but it's not. He walks like he's like so happy and so jolly, talking about like, "Say Drake, I hear you like you." It's like so shady. The way he does it, it's like, dang, Kendrick. And he looks right into the camera and, just calls out Drake. I just think this prolonged beef is just annoying now. Like my family and I were also discussing how like it was cool and all to, be throwing this song in our faces and being all about it when it first came out. But now it's like, it's dragging it. And, we're kind of over it. And the fact that I got to put this out there before we move on, because it's just something I have to say. It's just so interesting that Kendrick Lamar is so nasty toward Drake, and literally this man made you globally known. Globally known. Like, you had your fan base. I'm not going to discredit that, but it wasn't nearly as big until you did this diss record. Until you did this diss. It's so funny that people love to hate on Drake, but say his name all the time. It's like what? It's like a love-hate relationship. Like, do you love him or do you hate him? Because it sounds like you're a little obsessed. So yeah, and I think Boozy, I saw, called it out. It was like, it's so crazy how all these people turned against Drake, but Drake put a lot of them on. And it's so true. So much truth behind that. It's like Drake helped so many people with features and just, being kind, speaking highly about certain people. And now that, he seems like he's going through it and people are turning against him, everybody else is mute. No one is sticking up for him. He's out the blue on stuff. And it's just like, dang. And a lot of people are saying, well, there's things that Drake has done for himself that made people not like him. He's the reason for his own downfall and a lot of things. But it's just like what? Like, I remember I commented back, I was like what? And they couldn't answer me. Like, the fact that y'all think he's a little fruity, his picture has been a little more sassy lately. Like, what has he done that's so bad that y'all are doing this 180 on him? And it's just like the moment Drake drops another song, a hit song, y'all are gonna be back riding all for him. It's so funny how people switch up so quickly. And also the fact that people try to make it seem like Drake is not who he is, like, just because of this little one beef, like his career is over. Like, no, Drake has been Drake and he will continue to be Drake. And the only reason Kendrick Lamar is hype right now is because Drake hasn't put anything out. If Drake put out, like I said, if Drake put out a song right now, Kendrick would be left in the dust. A fire song, whether it be a fire diss record or just a record period, people would forget about Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry. So the fact that, people are using his name for clout and for opportunities. Again, I wholeheartedly believe that Kendrick Lamar wouldn't have gotten this offer to perform at the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Drake. If it wasn't for him mentioning Drake. He could have beef with anybody else and no one would have cared. But the fact that he said Drake, you were like, oh, okay, now we're going to put you on the stage. Because again, he doesn't have hits like that. He doesn't have the fan base like that. He's a more lyrical artist. Drake is more of a pop, you know, vibey type artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a lyricist. Kendrick Lamar is like a lyricist. You really got to pay attention to things he's saying. Drake is more of, his music is real, but it's gonna get you to dance. It's gonna get you to feel something. It resonates with more people. So that therefore he became the bigger artist. So again, it's funny how people want to diss people, like, and they think it's cute, and it's like, it's so funny. Kendrick Lamar's message, everybody's saying, come together, love on black people, and people are like, oh, since, I don't know, I'm like, is Drake not black? Is it because he's half white, he's not fully black? But it's like we're dividing, we're having this divisive type attitude toward him, but want to come together with other people. It's so picky and choosy, and there's so much hypocrisy on this side, and it's just, again, I'm just like, again, not a fan of Kendrick Lamar's music and not a fan of what he did at this Super Bowl. But anyway, other than that, him saying the Say Drake line, there was also people were pointing out that it was like a protect black women thing when he pulled out, when Serena came out and started crip walking, did her little dance for a minute. I was just like, okay, because I think Serena Williams used to date Drake, I think, and then also SZA used to date Drake. So it was just a big diss to Drake, one. But there were also things that were said, I think, that were disrespectful to Serena and her husband that Drake said. I'm not particularly sure, but I remember it being a whole thing. I remember when that story came out, everybody was upset. So yeah, it's interesting that, you know, people were saying like it was a protect thing, but I think it was more of a petty thing. I think it was a thing to get back at Drake. You know, like I said, I think this whole performance was about Drake more than this message to love on black people and stuff. Because like I said, it's hypocritical because Drake is black, whether he has a white mother or not. His dad is black. So there's that. And then the last thing people were saying was that that the song Not Like Us, like him singing it, was another message reminding us that Drake and America, white America, it's so funny how people say America is not like us. That's what people say, America's not like us. Like, we don't live in America. Like, black people we're just here. We're just immigrants staying here. Literally, that's what it seems like. We're just here visiting on vacay. While, you know, the rest of America is white and maybe Asian and maybe Latino, but mostly white. And it's just funny that you're saying they're not like us. Clearly, I know there's some aspects somewhere like white people are not like us and they can't resonate, and they put on a show, they say face, they're fake, but so do we. We do that too, and don't act like black people don't, because you know we do. You know we do. Like, it's so funny how we love to call out other people for doing stuff we're doing. Yeah, we're not like white people, and white people aren't like us. And they're okay with that, and we should be okay with that as well. Like, it's not a thing to be outraged about. Factual things are not a thing to be mad about. Now, it's one thing, you know, people not liking you or not resonating with you, that's one thing, but, you know, you should always command respect. It's something different when someone disrespects you. Like, no, you should call that out. That's not okay. But people protect and be with their own, and that's okay. This whole Super Bowl was all black people. You don't hear no white people complaining. Because it's okay. They get that we want to be around our communities. They get that this is Black History Month, and, you know, it's going to be a black performance. Whoop-de-doo. But the moment white people get together and want to do something, we're like, how dare you? And bring up slavery and all our struggles. And it's just like, when are we going to get over this? When is enough going to be enough? We literally are performing in the Super Bowl. We literally had a black president. We literally have all these things, the opportunities. Like, when is it going to be enough for you? When everything is owned by black people and black people only, everybody hired has to be black. It can't be white people. Like, it just sounds ludicrous. But back to this performance, I just had to say, like, I appreciate Kendrick. I think actually he's dope. I think he has a magnetic personality. Seems like everybody that's around him likes him. But I don't know if this performance was the performance to have right now. And it's so funny, when he was performing, he was like, I remember he said a line. He was like, right message, wrong person. Like it's the right message, wrong person to deliver it. And I kind of agree with that. I don't know if I want to go as far to say it's the wrong person, but it was the wrong time for the wrong person. It was the wrong time for the right person. I think that, if he did this like in one of his concerts, or did this at, I don't know, something else. Again, people just want to be entertained. I hate that the Super Bowl now has become so political. Even the commercials, guys. Oh my gosh, it was such a struggle watching the commercials, because it was just like, they weren't good, for one. And then all of them were about, they had Tom Brady, Snoop Dogg talking about hate. It's like, we don't hate when, like, come on now. Like, Snoop Dogg, it was so funny, like, seeing this too, because we know Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady are friends. They're cordial at least. So it's just like, this is so ridiculous. Or they're, and just pushing it in our faces makes it just more cringe to people like me. Other, liberals and, leftists are soaking this right up. Black liberals and leftists are soaking this right up. But people like me, I'm just like, ugh, I'm so over it. Because constantly reminding us about something makes it not go away. It makes us feed into it more. Like, I don't know why people don't grasp that concept. Like, if you keep on getting thrown slavery in your face, it's more likely to happen, because your brain is not comprehending right from wrong. They're just comprehending the information being fed to it. And if you're, like I said, fed it constantly, you're going to eventually, if you don't get it enough, you're going to starve from it and go right back into it, starving and want to eat from it. Like, I don't, I'm trying to describe it the best way I can. But yeah, it's just, I'm so over it. If we want racism to stop, if we want hate to stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it up. I'm so tired of it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. But, a lot of people thought his performance was dope. I thought the energy was dope that he gave off. But as far as the whole performance as a whole, I just wasn't feeling it. Message or not. And again, it just felt forced. It felt like he was trying to prove something that didn't need to be proved. Like, Kendrick Lamar, people, like, your fans know how dope you are. And even your non-fans know how dope you are. I knew you were dope just by, like, I've listened to your interviews. I've watched how people interacted around you. And when someone is genuinely, I think, like a good person that has good vibes, you can see it a mile away. Like, you can't hide it. You can't fake it. Authentic people can spot authenticity. But at the same time, I feel like you let this beef get in way over your head. You let this hype of this song get you a little cocky. It made you a little cocky a little bit. But, yeah, I think that, I thought it was dope. You brought out SZA. I think SZA didn't do much, but I wasn't expecting her to do much because it's not her performance, and that girl can sing all day, and I love it. I love it. But, I think you were doing things to make it seem like they were one thing, and really it was another. And is that right or wrong? I don't know, but seemed very petty to me. But that's just my opinion, guys. I think this Super Bowl was the worst out of all of them. But again, I was even unfazed by by Rihanna's performance. Was that last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. Usher performed. I don't know if that was last year, but I wasn't hype about even Usher's performance but I think it's just because I'm biased. I was like, I wanted Chris Brown. Anybody other than Chris Brown, really, because everybody else has performed that is pretty much entertaining. If going forward, if it's not Chris Brown, I'm just kind of checked out. You know, I'll sit there and watch it. You know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But at this point, I'm like, yeah, no, you got to have Chris Brown now. Because everybody else ain't it. They ain't it. They prove me time and time again. So that's my perspective on this game. Again, congrats to the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to them. I'm proud of them. They did an amazing job. And yeah, Kendrick Lamar, I hope you make a serious comeback. I hope you do something else that makes me like eat my words and like you again. But right now I'm like, I'm on the fence. But it's all good. I forgive very easily. I don't forget, but I forgive very easily. So make a comeback. All right, guys. Like this video if you like this video. Please comment always. I'll love to hear you guys' opinions. If you completely disagree with me and thought Kendrick Lamar's performance was amazing, let me know. We can have the debate. I just ask to keep it respectful. And yes, subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es sin timidez. Como la ves no le importa dónde y cuándo. Pero nada no he hecho, no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos. Los 7 días de la semana te doy de mañana, mi consejo sabes que no es, te doy el desquite.